Yo, what is good YouTube? It's the Deli, back with another Destiny 2 Onslaught build video, and today we're going to be taking a look at my Solar Titan. In this build, our exotic of choice is going to allow us to have up to a ×4 solar weapon surge at all times. We're also going to be able to stack different element surges because of that, and we're going to have constant uptime on all our abilities. We're going to have an additional 400% regeneration rate. Let's take a look at the build. Alright, so jumping into the build, we're going to be taking advantage of the Path of the Burning Steps exotic leg armor. Its armor perk is Firewalker. Solar Final Blows periodically grant you an escalating bonus to weapon damage, and Solar Grenade Final Blows grant you the highest bonus. You are harder to slow or freeze with stasis, and when you break out, you take no damage from doing so, creating a burst of solar energy around yourself. This is a very solid exotic armor for Onslaught. We're going to be able to get easy ×4 solar weapon surges on grenade final blows, and we're going to be able to stack different elemental surges as well with it. This is also very good when you're running the Spark and it's against the Fallen and he tries to freeze you with stasis. You can break out really fast and you'll take no damage from doing so. Very solid pick. Now let's take a look at the weapon we're going to be pairing with the Path of the Burning Steps. We're going to be using the Heavy Machine Gun Xenophage. Its intrinsic trait is Pyrotoxin Rounds, fires high-powered explosive ammunition. This is a very solid pick to pair with the Path of Burning Steps. Because we're going to have a constant ×4 buff, this thing is going to hit like a truck. You can 3-tap champions, you could just absolutely mow through these chunky enemies that spawn. This is a very strong pick for this build. Taking a look at our super abilities, aspects, and fragments, I am going to be using Burning Maul as my super. Hammer of Soul is another solid choice. I just feel like Burning Maul does a little more damage. For our abilities, I am going to be on Rally Barricade. Rally Barricade is going to increase your weapon reload speed, stability, and range. And since Xenophage reloads kind of slow, this absolutely helps with that reload. For our jump, this is just preference. I'm going to be on Strafe Lift. For our melee, we are going to be using Throwing Hammer, a really nice way to get those stacks of Roaring Flames up. And for our grenade, I do like the Thermite Grenade. The cooldown isn't as long as the Solar Grenade, and when you throw it, it goes in a straight line, so it's really good for locking down spawn points. Taking a look at the aspects, our first aspect of choice is going to be Soul Invictus. Solar ability Final Blows, Hammer of Soul impacts, and defeating scorched targets create sunspots. Your abilities regenerate faster and your super drains more slowly while standing in a sunspot. Sunspots apply Scorch and deal damage to targets inside. Entering a sunspot applies Restoration. This is going to be really nice since we're not running Restoration Grenade. We're going to be able to get Restoration just from standing inside a sunspot. And we're also going to be able to extend that with one of our fragments. Our second aspect of choice is going to be Roaring Flames. Final blows with solar abilities or ignitions increase the damage of your solar abilities, and it stacks up to 3 times. This is really nice. We're going to be able to easily proc this by using our grenade or our hammer. So this is a really nice buff to our abilities. Alright, now taking a look at our fragments, our first fragment of choice is going to be Ember of Searing. Defeating scorched targets grants melee energy and creates fire sprites. This is also a +10 to our recovery stat. This is a nice fragment because we're going to constantly be scorching targets. Our abilities are going to scorch, our gun, because we have a certain perk, is going to be able to scorch, and one of the artifact perks is going to be able to allow our solar weapons to apply scorch. So this is really nice. There's going to be a ton of fire sprites on the field, which give you grenade energy on pickup, and we're going to be pairing this with Ember of Mercy. When you revive an ally, you and other nearby allies gain Restoration. Picking up a fire sprite grants Restoration. So you can see the synergy here. We're going to be able to get Restoration just from picking up fire sprites or standing in our sunspots. This is also a +10 to our resilience as well. Now taking a look at our third fragment of choice, we're going to be using Ember of Benevolence. Applying Restoration, Cure, or Radiant to allies grants increased grenade, melee, and class ability regeneration for a short duration. This is a -10 to discipline, but that doesn't even matter. We're going to get an increased 400% regeneration for our abilities. This is very strong and we'll be able to apply it via Ember of Mercy. We're also going to be able to apply it via one of our perks on our weapons. Taking a look at our final solar fragment, we're going to be using Ember of Empyrean. Solar weapon, our ability Final Blows extend the duration of Restoration and Radiant effects applied to you. This is really nice. We're going to be able to proc Radiant via one of the artifact perks. And we're going to have restoration from different sources, so we'll be able to just constantly loop restoration and radiant at all times. And since we're going to be radiant as well, we're also going to be able to stun anti-barrier champions with our solar weapons. Now let's take a look at our weapons. In our kinetic slot, I am going to be using a Riptide. My Riptide has auto-loading and chill clip, which is very, very strong. Chill clip is going to allow us to stun overload champions via slow, and then we're also going to be able to stun unstoppable champions when we freeze and shatter them. This is a very strong option in this build because we're going to get free solar weapon surge from our exotic boots, so we can use stasis weapon surges to increase the damage for our Riptide. Now if you don't have a Riptide, another solid option is the Arvindil FR6. This is obtainable from Banshee in the tower. You can turn in your gunsmith engrams and roll for this fusion. It has very solid perks. You can get reconstruction, substance, and then pair it with chill clip. Very nice option. Now taking a look at our energy slot, we're going to be using a summoner. I do have heal clip on this, so after a final blow, when you reload, you're going to grant cure to yourself and to your allies. So that's going to proc Ember of Benevolence, increasing the regeneration on your abilities. Another option to pair in this build if you don't have a summoner with heal clip is the Heliocentric. This can also roll heal clip and incandescent, and it is farmable in lost sectors depending on what the weapon rotation is for the day. But if you don't have heal clip, there are other ways you can proc Ember of Benevolence in your kit. So anything with incandescent would be solid. You can run Zali's Bane, you can run Epical Integration. Even the new Luna's Howl can roll with heal clip and incandescent, which can be farmable in the new Onslaught game mode. Now in our heavy slot, we already went over the Xenophage, but if you don't have Xenophage, you could use the Parasite. This is a very strong option. You'll constantly have times 20 because it's easy to just farm down enemies. We can also run Gallowhorn here too. Gallowhorn is very strong. You'll be able to buff your fire team's rockets and just do really big damage. Now when I do go into the boss room, I like to swap to a Thunderlord. This is just pretty easy damage, not a lot of thought to it, and with Rally Barricade it's going to help with that range and just weapon stability. But Xenophage and Gallowhorn are also solid options to use in the boss room. Now taking a look at our armor mods, on our helmet we're going to be running one Harmonic Siphon, Rapid Solar Weapon Final Blows create an Orb of Power. This is nice since this is a weapon focused build. We're going to create tons of orbs for our fire team. Our second helmet armor mod is going to be Font of Wisdom. When we do have armor charge, this is going to be a plus 30 to our intellect. It's going to help us get that burning maul a little quicker. And our final helmet armor mod is going to be Heavy Ammo Finder. Be able to get some more ammo for our Xenophage. On our gauntlets, we're going to be running two harmonic loaders. This is going to help increase the reload speed of our solar weapons. Like I said earlier, Xenophage's reload is pretty slow, so this is definitely going to help. And our final gauntlet armor mod is going to be Bolstering Detonation. Grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. On our chest armor, this is always just preference. I like to change this according to the threat and the activity I'm playing. But Concussive Dampener's not a bad choice. A lot of AoE damage in this game. And just one of each element, honestly, is never a bad choice. On our Path of Burning Steps, we're going to be running double Stasis Weapon Surge. This is nice because we're going to be running a Riptide, and this is just going to be additional damage. We're also running one Solar Scavenger, so when we pick up heavy ammo bricks, it's going to give us more ammo for our Xenophage. On our Titan Mark, we're going to be running one Bomber. When we throw that barricade down, it's going to reduce the grenade cooldown for us. We're also going to be running one Font of Restoration. When we have armor charge, this is going to be a plus 30 to our recovery, so I'm actually going to be sitting at 100 recovery. And our final armor mod on our class item is going to be Time Dilation. When we do have armor charge, it's going to last longer, so that Stasis Weapon Surge is going to last longer, and our font mods are going to last even longer. Now here's a quick summary of the build. You can see all the armor mods here. My stat distribution here, I would say prioritize Resilience and Discipline. You can see all the artifact perks here. There are several artifact perks that do very well in this build. A lot of solid picks here. Just run these artifact perks and you will do very well with this build. Here is the drip check for the build. You can see the shaders I used and armor pieces. I would say this is a pretty drippy Titan. Now that's going to be it for the build. If you tried the build and liked it, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn that notification bell on for more Destiny 2 Onslaught build videos coming very soon. I will have the dim link for this build down in the description below. Thanks again for watching. My name is The Deli, and peace.